In Japanese, Fukushima is made up of two words, fuku, which means lucky or fortune or fortunate, and shima, which means island. So Fukushima is literally the island of fortune. Suicide is a sensitive topic in any country, particularly Japan, but the Fukushima nuclear crisis has made this subject, I think, even more fraught. Since the accident, the number of officially recorded suicides in Fukushima has increased, but even those government figures are almost certainly far too low. I talked to person after person in Fukushima who knew someone who had ended their life because they lost their home or their land or their livelihood to the radiation emitted by the nuclear accident. These were people in this region who were so proud of having been part of Japan's modern miracle economy. They were contributing to the effort to literally power Japan through nuclear energy. But now there's such a stigma attached just to the word Fukushima. In many cases, because of the double stigma of suicide and of Fukushima itself, their families weren't willing to report the deaths as self-inflicted. There was one dairy farmer from an area called Soma. People didn't want to buy his milk because it was from Fukushima and they were scared of radiation. But the farmer's farm actually bordered another prefecture, a couple miles difference, and he wouldn't have been tainted by the Fukushima curse. The farmer began writing what later amounted to a suicide note on his barn walls. He wrote to the other remaining farmers saying that they shouldn't let themselves be defeated by nuclear power. He apologized to his wife and sons, writing that he'd lost the will to try. One of the sentence fragments he scribbled was, "If only there was no nuclear plant." Then he hanged himself from a barn rafter. Initially, his death wasn't even classified as a suicide. When you think about the legacy of Fukushima, it's easy to focus just on the radiation itself. How bad is it? What's the half-life of these radioactive ions? Is a peach grown in Fukushima safe to eat? And these are questions that will presumably be answered in the future, but I think the mental and psychological fallout of the accident will also take generations to resolve. And I think that's so much the tragedy for the people who were there, who were so proud of what they were doing for modern Japan. And now that dream has evaporated.